Okay, so if you haven't been living under a rock for the past few years, you've already realized that the economy is not looking so good. And as the title of the video suggests, maybe it's time to, think about some other much less morally acceptable options. So I was looking through my files from the past few weeks, just kind of reminiscing over what I've been doing the past couple of weeks and what I've been busy with. And truth be told, what I realized is that there's a lot of good stuff here that I could talk about, but there was this one particular instance that was very interesting. So I wrote an article for our, fundamentals in economy and principles of economy. It's a course based on principles of economy by ManQ. It's nothing too special, but I wrote an article that was very cool about selling your kidney. And I justified it that it's actually a pretty, viable choice. You can actually do it. So going through, I'm not going to show you the article because I think it's stupid. I'm the guy who wrote it, so I'm gonna explain to you what I wrote instead of just reading through the article. But if you wanted to, you could ask me. I'll give you the article as well. Who knows? But going through the sources, it all started from right over here. This lovely individual with those curly hair and that big beard, Muhammad Akbarpur. Everything started from here. So I saw this interview by this guy, and it's in Amir Asghari's YouTube channel. Muhammad Akbarpur is actually a graduate from Sharif, and he I think studied economy, like just basic economy in Stanford. But what he tried to do was that in his thesis for his doctorate and all the works that he did as a student in Stanford, he tried to in a way merge computer science with economy. So he's almost working on a major called Econ CS. It's both computer science and economy. The way it works is that he basically tried to create a model of different processes and different economical phenomena, and then try to optimize that model through computer science. So it was genius. Like what he did here was genius. And this interview right over here, you could search it. I'm showing you the YouTube page. You could search it. It's actually pretty fantastic, and it's very beautiful, honestly. And honestly, I feel proud. Like what he did and what he participated in was absolutely fantastic. But the thing is, the one thing that he worked on were matching algorithms. So I'm gonna show you what a matching algorithm is. So there's this other website that you could search for. YouTube doesn't allow me to send you links yet. I will try, but it doesn't allow me. So nationalacademics.org has this article about it. This guy over here, Alivn Roth. Alivn Roth is actually, I believe he was actually Muhammad Akbarpur's, professor in Stanford, I believe. they worked on this together, more or less. So Alvin Roth came up with an idea to use matching algorithms in computer science, as you can see over here, to basically find a way to match donors together, organ donors, and specifically kidney organ donors. So this means that you had an economist work via the tools that mathematics and computer science provides, alongside another doctor whose name I believe Michael Rees. Yeah, Michael Rees. So what Alvin Roth did was that he, alongside Michael Rees, via the tools that computer science and mathematics provides, he managed to find a matching algorithm for organ donors, specifically kidney. So the way it works is that someone wants to donate an organ to a loved one, but they can't because, kidney doesn't work like that. They need to match, and your body has to, accept that kidney, or that's a failed operation and might result with the patient dying. So more than we would like to admit, this actually happens, and someone that you love and you want to donate to is actually incompatible with you. So what you do is that you, alongside someone who also has the same case as you, they also want to donate to someone that they love but they can't, you guys partner up with each other. You give your part of the bargain, your kidney, to their loved ones, and they will give their kidney to your loved ones. So that way, that X shape, we kind of fix this issue. Now that's an extremely dumbed down explanation of how this works. There are so many different factors at play here. Age, dates, is the operations happening on the same dates, or are they not happening on the same date? How long does every patient have? How do you balance the priorities and things like that? But anyway, Alvin Roth, along with Lloyd Shapley, they all, kind of came together and created matching algorithms. The original matching algorithm problem was actually based on an issue that was caused by the small number of marriages, and they decided to find a matching algorithm for dating. But as it says over here as well, initially it was matches people within a group based on individual preferences. It was for marriage, and for a marriage to be happy. So they basically formulated marriages. But then that same algorithm, after a bit of customization and about a little bit of editing here and there, they added some stuff and took away some stuff, and that matching algorithm was back in 1960s. Nowadays you can simulate that on a PC. So after that they found a way to match organ donors, and then they decided to do the same thing for students, and what schools they could go to that matches their preferences and their income. The same thing went for internships and residence in hospitals and things like that. Mohammad Akbarpour found a way to match these individuals to I believe it was a Chinese version of Uber. That's what he talked about here. So basically they found a way to match individuals to an Uber around them. What's the best Uber for this individual? And the application that they use, it doesn't necessarily give you the nearest, it gives you the best driver. So it was interesting. But constantly in the back of my head I was like, organ trade? Like, are we trying to create a market for organs? And like the first thing that I searched for was obviously this Wikipedia page right over here. Now, say what you will about Wikipedia, their power in gathering this amount of data, and look at this amount of references, it's insane. And from what I could gather, because I had to write an article about this, most of these websites are actually up still. That's 132 things. Jesus. So anyway, in the Wikipedia page, if you would like to read it, I already read that and a bunch of references here. It's not looking so good. A lot of people are dying because they are waiting for an organ and they're not getting it. What happens is that the way we are providing people with organs and kidneys, specifically kidneys, is pretty weird. Like, it's pretty much non-existent. What happens is that you're basically paying, which later on we'll discuss this more in depth. What happens is that you're paying for your new kidney and the surgery, along with the hospitalization and the post-operation process that you need to go through, all that stuff. You're paying for all of that all together as a package. In economics, we're just looking at this as a package. It doesn't really have any morals or anything else attached to it. You're paying for an entire package. And that package, due to the rarity of kidneys, just kidneys in general, is extremely expensive. And a lot of people from much more lower income households, they're unable to pay for that. And those who are able to pay for that are getting it very quick. So basically it's like this battle royale between all these individuals and everyone, and whoever is richer is actually getting a kidney, and whoever is not richer, sorry pal. So as you can see here in the Wikipedia page, in United States, more than 100,000 candidates were waiting for organ donations, and the median wait time was 148. Obviously not a lot of people survived that, and that causes a black market, ladies and gentlemen. What happens is that people start to create black markets around this valuable assets, if you would call it that. Basically, people start to create this illicit market and this illegal way to just get what they want to get. And due to the fact that, well, obviously it's a black market and people are not getting a proper operation, and it's not backed up whatsoever, and there's no proper data about it, a lot of people also get hurt from not receiving what they've paid for in the black market. And worse than that, there's transplant tourism. A lot of countries are, people from, for example, I don't know, America, Canada, Germany, all these first world countries are it's sickening to think about. They're basically traveling to this, third world lower income countries with lower GDPs and lower, overall value of their money, and basically they just carried their purses with themselves, and they come over here in these countries, and they say that, okay, I'm gonna pay you in dollars or whatever, more than enough for your entire yearly income, but you gotta give me your kidney, man. That's called transplant tourism. Sorry about that. Transplant tourism. And it's just freaking awful. It's more than what you think it is. And aside from that, some countries are, because they want to provide their citizens with kidneys, they are doing some extremely sickening stuff. China, for example, is this is all backed up. You could actually check it over here in the Wikipedia page. China is taking these kidneys from the prisoners that they have. Most of them, you could guess what kind of prisoners we're talking about in China. They take kidneys from the prisoners that they have executed. And the same thing goes for United Arab Emirates and Oman. And also, believe it or not, they also, accepts organs from dead people. Yeah, China is involved in trade of organs taken from executed prisoners, in case you just wanted some more proof. And it's sickening. It's honestly sickening. But then again, between all these different countries, as you can see in this map over here, the only country where you are allowed to trade legally, trade organs legally, is Iran. And that's sad. It's a sad and morbid truth that a lot of people are incented to, sell their kidney because of how awful their, living conditions are and how low their welfare is. But it's not as bad as you think it is. When you think about all the alternatives, there's also this other Wikipedia page you could check. It's very morbid, it's very cynical, it's extremely dark, but due to the fact that it's legal, it means that it's regulated, and it means that there's data available for it, and it means that we are fighting off both the black market and the, transplant tourism that happens in other countries. Aside from that, Iran, believe it or not, this is probably the only thing that we're good at. We don't have a waiting list for kidney in Iran. It's pretty much, pretty much non-existent. We're the only country that has managed to destroy, as you can see, Hashemi-Nejad Kidney Hospital in Iran, Ahmad Quds, the guy who runs that hospital, he's called Ahmad Quds in Hashemi-Nejad. He actually said this quote: this is the main reason that the renal transplant waiting list was eliminated quickly and successfully in Iran. And he's right, because everyone has a kidney, and believe it or not, the quality of the kidneys, because they're not from cadavers, obviously, and definitely not the starved, poorly kept prisoners in China, they end up actually being pretty useful. So the main issue that we are having currently in Iran is that post-operation, troubles and the challenges that they go through, there's nothing to help these individuals that go through these operations. And it's a very painful operation. For a long amount of time you're not able to eat properly, you're not able to walk properly. It's a part of you, and it's missing. So they require some assistance at least, but they're not getting it. The main issue is that, but aside from that, it's actually pretty good. So and then when you look at it from an economic standpoint, it's also very cheaper than the transplants that we are getting in America. So what gives? It doesn't seem like it's that bad of an idea, is it? What I did was that, after reading through these articles and all of that, after doing a bit more research, I came across this article by Richard B. McKenzie. Now, when you read that name, you know that it's gonna be good, because Richard McKenzie, for those of you who don't know, this guy wrote a ton of books about economics, and this guy understands what he's talking about. So in econlib.org there's this article that I'm showing you right now, and it's absolutely fantastic how easily this guy proved that kidney market can actually solve plenty of problems. Now, one thing that he used, one way of talking about it, was that he basically he compared plumbers with doctors and hospitals. So I'll tell you what it is right about now, and let me see if I can. Okay, so before we get to the nitty gritty and the TED talk about the economy, the economical graphs over here, let's just talk about plumbers for a second. So think about it this way: every plumber gets a separate pair of plumbing supplies. For example, a wrench, maybe a pipe, maybe the things that they need to use for plumbing your house. They get that for free. Okay, so they get an extra pair of wrenches or pipes or whatever they need to use every time that they want to do a plumbing operation, if you would like to call it that. So they come to your house and they carrying their stuff, and after doing what they do, they could be these very gentle and kind souls, and just charging for the operation, the fixing, putting two and two together, they're adding things up, they're trying to connect these pipes together, they're using the wrench and all of that. That's the operation that a plumber does. They're not the supplier of pipes, they're not the supplier of wrenches, they're not the ones who are supposed to bring that, they just have one for free. So what happens is that they could be these very gentle souls and be very kind and generous and don't charge you for anything, or they could easily charge you the amount of money for that pipe and wrench as well, because you didn't provide the wrench, you didn't provide the pipe, I had it. And if I didn't have the wrench and I didn't have the pipe, you had to buy me that wrench and that pipe. I'm just a plumber. I know how to fix this thing. I don't have the tools to fix this thing by default. So now that I have it, that's like, I'm giving you a better service. So you need to pay me more. Capiche? So that's basically what happens with doctors as well. A doctor's job is pretty much only and only the operation. However, since you cannot give that doctor the kidney from another market and they're the only ones who have that kidney, and you are paying for the entire package, as I just said, of kidney and the operation and, you know, staying in hospital for some time, that three things together, when one of them, the kidney, is scarce, the value of this goes up. Now, judging by this picture over here, as you can see, this is a very simple graph between the quantity of transplant kidneys and the price of these kidneys. The quantity of these transplant kidneys, or, you know, you could also consider them, you know, one-to-one with the whole operation package, if you would like to say. As you can see, currently we are living in the S1, this line over here, and D2, as you can see. This is the reality that we're living in right now. What that means is that for the price of $0, Q1 individuals, as you can see over here, are willing to, you know, supply their kidney. People are generous. Why is it not like D1, you might ask? Because we are experiencing a shortage of kidneys. As you can see, people, for the price of $0, I will repeat that, are willing to pay for it. You know, they want Q-free kidneys, as you can see. At the price level of $0, we have Q-free. So that basically the gap between Q1 and Q-free basically shows you the shortage of, you know, kidneys in the market. So there's a Q-free minus Q1, you know, kidneys short at that price level. And D1 is basically just what these economists or social activists believe that, you know, the world is like currently, because they're like, oh, everyone is happy with the amount of kidneys that we are providing with $0, because, you know, they believe that the equilibrium of D1 and Q1 is actually, you know, on the $0 level, which is not the case. So what happens is that the equilibrium is actually somewhere over here in E2. Once you know, draw this graph, and, you know, this is a very simplified graph, but you get what I'm talking about. Basically, that means that when you're providing Q2 kidneys at the price level of P1, which, you know, that price level is made because of, you know, the law of, you know, supply and demand, the people are pretty much content with what you're providing, because they're also willing to, you know, pay P1 for Q2. So they need Q2 units of kidneys at the price of P1. So obviously the equilibrium right here, this is a pretty optimal place. We already discussed that the actual world that we are living in is more akin to D2. So we are going to fix the shortage of kidneys if we just raise the price a little, and also, you know, the supply of kidneys go up, creating a market for kidneys. Currently, this vertical line that you're seeing over here, this is the limit that we've put on the amount of kidneys provided. As you can see from here, at the quantity of Q1, only if we were willing to sell these kidneys You know, if we were willing to sell Q1 kidneys to the people around us and only supply them with Q1 kidneys, the price would be P2, which is extremely higher than P1. What that means is that what's actually happening in the market right now, because as I'll say it again, kidney is a part of a package right now. You have the surgery, the hospitalization, and the kidney. Since kidney is a part of that package, and that package is actually legal to sell, quote unquote, to individuals who need it, they will sell it for a price akin to P2, because kidney actually costs P2 right now, because the quantity is so short and so scarce that it makes the entire package price just skyrocket. So by creating a free market, you're actually lowering the price of operations as well. What happens in Iran? So this, McKinsey basically talks about whatever I just told you right now. You could read it yourself, and it's actually it's a pretty good article. I really suggest you read about it. But what's interesting is that it's so easy to explain it. Like, aside from some moral issues here and there, everything seems pretty much understandable. That's when I started to do a little bit of a more research into the morals of this issue, and I realized that the only time people like America banned these markets or organ trade was a law in 1984 by the government of that time, that said that because we want to help the low income individuals, and we don't want to put a price on that organ, we want people to reach that for free. It actually did the exact opposite thing. It skyrocketed the price of the operations, and now it's doing the exact opposite thing. We have 4,533 annual deaths because of kidney diseases, and that is actually true. We are having a very bad time from kidney diseases. So the government did a wrong thing. Now, judging by this, no, I do not accept that. Judging by the article that The Atlantic made, which is, not really an article, it's a part of a podcast that they made. Jerusalem themselves was talking with this individual that decided to donate his organ. Dylan Matthews, his friend, he basically donated his kidney, do something good to help people who don't have kidneys, because as I said, it is a very serious issue. Now, as a donor and going through the all the process that he had to go through, he realized that it's really not fair not to get any money out of it. Like, yeah, it is a morally good thing to do, but the doctor is getting paid. He's also doing a morally good thing, but he's also getting paid. Nurses get paid, doctors get paid, everyone gets paid. But you don't. As you're part of the deal, right? That package, you are the provider of the main thing for that package, but you're not getting anything from that sweet money that package is selling for. So what he said to kind of make this whole operation more morally acceptable, whatever you want to call it, is that each year America could give these advantages to people who have donated their organs in tax values, the reverse taxing. Basically they're telling you that you don't need to pay that much money to us. And he calculated it. You could listen to his podcast. He basically realized that the perfect amount is 5 years, and each year $10,000. As you can see over here, it will add up to $50,000 in cash. So basically, each year when you want to, pay your taxes, 10,000 off. 10,000 is on the house, and you could also cash that amount of money whenever you want it. So basically, you go and say to the government, okay, I don't want to pay less taxes. I just really need that $10,000. Could you give it to me? And they'll be like, yeah, okay, cool. Here you go. There's your $10,000. He believes that that's the 5-year time that you need after the operations, and also the amount of pain and the value of the operation and everything that is going for. It is a pretty acceptable price. Again, economists decide the amount of value something has by the law of supply and demand, and by creating these functions. Most of you probably now have a proper idea of how that goes. But honestly, all in all, it was a interesting rabbit hole that I kind of went through the couple of days back in the day. I don't remember when I made this. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. I don't remember, but I remember that it was very interesting for me, and it basically goes to show that selling your kidney might not really be that much of a bad idea. It's not as bad as you would think it is. It's a good choice. It's good for the economy. You're helping people and getting paid. How about that? So anyway, I'm not telling you that you should sell your kidney, okay? Just a disclaimer. You should think about it a bit more, and no rash actions, okay? So yeah, that's about it. See ya. Bye bye.